Hi, I'm Neville Bruce, and welcome to this very first topic in humanity in the 21st century. We're starting off with possibly one of the biggest and broadest questions we could possibly ask. What does it mean to be human in the 21st century? Fascinating question. A question will be running virtually throughout this entire unit. But today, we just want to get you started, open up the ideas, get you thinking about the issues, and getting ready for the tutorial and discussions and forums that you'll be doing later on this week. Now, let us think about that question, that really, really big question. It actually has two components. The first is really, what does it mean to be human? Who am I? What is this thing called human? What is this funny little species? When I look in the mirror, what do I see? I see a human. What does that mean? Okay, we want to think a little bit about that. What makes us unique in the animal kingdom? Unique in this world and possibly all the worlds around about us? We don't know. The second part of the question, which we'll just be touching on this week, is as well as being human, we are a member of a species with incredible power, a phenomenal species which has dominion over this earth. What does it mean to be human? A human living in the 21st century, a human which has changed the world already in remarkable ways, and thus a human who has to think about and be responsible for the world we're created. Okay, but let's first go back to thinking, what is it about us that makes us human? We'll be picking it up again in later topics, but this is just to start you off on your ways of thinking. Okay, quick background. I was once upon a time a veterinary surgeon, and therefore I looked at living animals from all sorts of different species. The thing that fascinated me most is the most remarkable domestic animal of all, that is us. What makes us different? Well, we can think about that from two or three different ways. We can think about our biology, we can think about our mind, and if you like, we can think about our soul, our spirituality, dimensions that go beyond the body and mind. And so often we like to think of humans as being this incredible integrated complex of body, mind, the thing we think with, and psyche, that which really provides us with our identity. Okay, so let's think about our body. Nothing remarkable? Well, yes, there is. Tons of things that are remarkable. Compared with almost all other species, we have a unique suite, if you like, of physical characteristics, biological characteristics that sets us way apart from most other animals. Those of you doing human biology will learn a lot more about this, but I'm just going to touch on a few things now and invite you to think about them further. Well, the biologists would say we are rather strange. We most resemble a naked ape. We don't have a lot of hair, and some of us have very little indeed, at least in some places. We're very thin-skinned. We scratch easily. That's strange. We don't have a good leather component to protect our bodies. We walk on two legs. Very strange. We have these remarkable hands with fingers and thumbs, and often you'll hear the biologists talking about the opposable thumb. And that gave our little species the ability to grab things and manipulate, using your fingers, your hands, manipulate, making tools and things like that. And so I could talk about really unusual biological phenomena of longevity. We live longer than most other animals. It takes us a long while after we're born to actually become independent, maybe 5 or 6 years. This day and age, it can be damn near 30. But not only that, it takes us 13, 14, 15 years to achieve puberty, to be able to reproduce. That's a long time. And then strangely, some of us, at least females amongst us, stop reproducing. We hit menopause, and we might live many, many years after that without breeding. That's fairly unusual. I could go on. As a reproductive biologist, I can tell you all sorts of stories about the very peculiar reproductive condition that humans seem to have inherited or created. But that is just the biological aspects of being human. What about this brain, this mental thing? And here we want to just consider the mind as being, if you like, a computer, something which we can manipulate ideas in, we can sense things, we can recognize them, translate them, and then manipulate them in incredibly complex ways, way more than any other species. We really are living computers. We can think. We can think into the past, we can think into the future. We are capable of abstract thought. We are capable of being self-conscious. I know that I am me, at least I think I am, and I know that you are you. And I know that there's a thing called the human species. I know all sorts of things. I know all sorts of things about the world. I can think about space. I can think about the atom. So we, as humans, for various reasons, have developed a fascinating mind capable of phenomenal powers of abstract thought, deduction, calculation, etc. But now we should talk about the other aspect of humanity, part of the Trinity, if you like, and all of these are clearly connected, the psyche, the soul. And you'll find many scientists and many people get a little uncertain about this. They like to think, well, no, we're just material beings. There's nothing special about our soul. Others think that no, there is something about our soul. We may have religious beliefs that tell us a lot about the soul and indeed tell us that our very being and our very identity is more about our soul than anything else, our body or our mind. Whether or not you are religious or have a religious viewpoint, I think we all tend to have the feeling that I am me, I have an identity. And if you like, that is your psyche. It is something superconscious. It is something which we really feel makes us more than just, if you like, a biological robot and a computer stuck on the edge of the biological robot. No, I'm just starting you thinking this way. We will be developing all of these ideas much more carefully into the future. So partly this week, we want all of you to really start reflecting on what does it mean to be human? Think about it in your own ways, come up with your own ideas. The second part of this first week, and admittedly we are loading a lot onto you straight away, but it's really just to get you going, is to think about not just what it means to be human, but what it means to be human in this unique, rather strange time called the 21st century. We have inherited a remarkable history, a history which has taken us from being little naked apes, and at this stage I just want to show you quickly what I'm talking about here. You've seen this slide already. 20,000 years ago, or from 200,000 years ago when we first started, to virtually 10,000 years ago, we were little naked apes. We've gone from that little naked ape, and suddenly over the last 10,000 years, and particularly over the last 100 years, our species, humanity, has translated from being at the mercy of the environment to making the environment at the mercy of humans. So we really have to start thinking about us as humans in this 21st century, because we're going to see a lot more changes yet. And in this tutorial and in this topic, we're starting to get you thinking about what humanity has done to this planet and where is humanity going. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that stage. Let you think about that and really develop your own ideas. It's not for me to lecture to you and tell you what to think. It's for us, your tutors, to help guide you on the path of what to think about. It's your ideas that are important. It's your work that's important. It is your construction of your own ways of thinking about these things, which are really going to be of most benefit to you. Thanks very much.